If you were guaranteed every single goal that you are currently working toward, if you were guaranteed all of your wildest dreams, the fame, the recognition, the wealth, the relationship, the success, the achievements, the followers, the status, whatever it might be for you, if you were guaranteed all of it, but the only trade-off is that you would be unhappy with who it is you are internally. Your perception of yourself was negative. When you put your head on your pillow before you go to sleep, you'd think to yourself that you're not being yourself. You wouldn't be proud of the way that you're carrying yourself. Would it be worth it? Would getting everything that you are currently desiring, all the things that you want, be worth it if you were unhappy at the end of the day? If you were unfulfilled at the end of the day? Would it really be worth it? In a world that constantly celebrates external achievement, whether it be wealth or fame or success or recognition or followers, all the material success that people chase, it's very easy to get caught up in the allure of what could be if only we accomplish enough. And this is a trap that can be very easy to fall into, believing that our happiness, peace, or sense of worth is always just one step away. It's always somewhere in the future. It's this idea that if you just achieve this next thing, whether it's, a promotion or a bigger house or this next goal, a larger social media following, or even just validation from others, then finally you'll feel more whole or complete, or like you've made it. We're chasing a goal that's constantly moving. And one of the scariest things about this mindset or way of thinking is that it's not something you're necessarily consciously choosing. It's a mindset that's subtly ingrained in us by society, culture, sometimes even our upbringing. It's not like you wake up one morning and you decide that you're going to tie your self-worth or your fulfillment or your happiness or your inner peace to some external achievement or some external goal. It's way more subtle than that. It's something that gets ingrained in us just by society, just by culture, and the day and age that we live in with social media and everyone posting their highlight reel online for the world to see. I'm going to get back to my main point in a second, but when you think of social media, every like that you get, every comment, every share can make us feel seen. It makes us feel maybe admired or accepted temporarily. And the more we chase those external signs of approval, the more we get caught in that cycle of looking for validation from outside of us, from the outside world, from the external, rather than feeling comfortable with who it is we are. And that can be where, this mindset of enough becomes warped. Instead of feeling confident and content with who it is we are and feeling whole within, we feel like we always need to be better. We always need to look better. We always need to do more to keep up with other people, right? Like, think about how people post on social media. Often it's more than just sharing experiences. It's to be seen. That's why we post. To make us seem like we're living a certain life, to make us seem like we're doing more than we actually are. And the more likes and attentions and more shares and comments, whatever it might be, these posts get, the more validation we feel. And that cycle keeps us stuck in this mindset of believing that our worth is tied to how others perceive us or how much we do. It makes it harder to embrace the idea that we can actually be at peace with ourselves right now, no matter what we've achieved externally or what our life looks like to the outside world. At a very young age, some of us may have been taught that happiness or that success is the key to happiness, right? You get praised for your grades, your performance in school or in sports, your job achievements. People congratulate you when you hit certain milestones. That's just the way that it is. And it makes sense. But the message, whether spoken or unspoken, is that once you hit those milestones, you'll be happy, or at least more happy than you are right now. And this mindset, this way of thinking, creates this kind of chasing mentality where you're always reaching for something outside of yourself. There's this sense that once I achieve this, then I'll be happy. It could be something big, it could be something small, but every goal is a new milestone on the road to happiness. And it just never ends. There's always going to be more things that we want, more things that we want to achieve, more things that we want to accumulate. And we're just putting our peace, we're putting our fulfillment, we're putting our internal happiness on hold, on pause, until we get somewhere. And the kicker within all of this is that this thinking becomes addictive. If you're ambitious, you probably get this. You achieve one goal, then immediately you're on to the next thing. That sense of accomplishment fades. The mind starts to fixate on the next one. It's like this never-ending cycle of desire and dissatisfaction, because as soon as we achieve one thing, as soon as one achievement is completed, another goal appears. Another goal appears on the horizon. Your happiness is always congruent on achieving the next thing. I've spoken about ego before in many different recordings on TikTok, and I've read from certain Eckhart Tolle books in this podcast, in different podcast episodes, whether it's Stillness Speaks or The Power of Now or A New Earth. And a large theme that Eckhart talks about in a lot of those books is ego. Ego is identification with form, whether that be thought form or material form. Our ego is always going to make us feel like there's something else. There's something else that you need to do before you can be at peace. Your ego is always going to make you feel like you're not enough. Where it is you are right now isn't enough. The present moment isn't enough. There's always something that's more important. If the only thing that we experience is the present moment, don't you think that the relationship that you have with the only thing that we experience is important and something that you should actually dive deep to think about? If you're constantly chasing something in the future, what does that say about the relationship that you have with the present moment? And because the present moment is all that we experience, the relationship that you have with the present moment is going to determine the relationship that you have with your so-called future. It's just going to be another present moment. Don't you think taking the necessary time to start appreciating what it is you have now, in the now, is something that is worthwhile instead of just always chasing something down the road? The idea that if I only accomplish X, then I'll be happy becomes so ingrained in us that we forget to check in with our actual feelings internally. We get distracted by the external world and its demands, the responsibilities that we have, that we forget to take a moment to just evaluate how we're actually feeling internally and where we're at internally. And it's easy to forget to ask yourself, am I actually good with myself? I know I may be chasing something and that's cool. I have a goal, that's great, but am I good with who it is I am? It's easy to forget to ask yourself that. Imagine spending years working towards something to finally get there and to feel like shit with who it is you are, with how you're conducting yourself, with how you're carrying yourself. Not being proud of the person you've become in the process. You wouldn't even be able to enjoy the things that you've worked so hard for. And that's why I opened up this episode with that question. If you were guaranteed the things that you are currently working so hard for, if you were guaranteed all your desires, all your goals, and you got there and you felt like shit, you weren't proud of the person you've become, would it really be worth it? Because the truth is, you can't rely on that external goal. You can't rely on that external validation to fill a hole inside ourselves. No matter how many things we achieve or how cool it may look to everyone else, we'll never feel complete or whole because we're not addressing the root cause. We're not at peace with ourselves right now. And if you're not at peace with yourself right now, sure, the things that you're currently working toward may make you feel a little bit better at first. It may even make you feel a lot better at first, but it's temporary. It will always be temporary. You can build something incredibly high on a shaky foundation, but eventually the cracks will form. Feeling more at peace with yourself in the present moment, building that relationship with yourself, building a strong foundation internally will enable you to take action consistently toward your goals, toward the places that you're, currently trying to get to. And once you finally get there, you'll still feel whole. You'll still feel complete. You're not doing what you're doing right now or taking action toward your goals from this place of lack anymore, from this place of scarcity anymore. And when that day comes, when you finally get the things that you're currently working toward, and you're just soaking in the moment, enjoying getting to your dream, getting to your goal, the thing that you've been working so hard for, you finally get it. finally happens, that thing that you've been visualizing and seeing, you get it. It happens. It's done. You enjoy it. You're grateful for it. If you're ambitious or you want something else, you set a goal, you start taking action towards it, you're good with yourself regardless. You're not setting a new goal because you feel like you have to in order to feel good with yourself, because you just got to your goal and it felt great. You felt really good about yourself. And then a week or two went by and you started feeling like shit again. So you had to set a new goal in order to get those feelings. It's not like that. You get to your goal, you enjoy it. You're good with yourself. That's the constant. You're just good with who it is you are. You're happy and at peace and fulfilled internally. And that's what drives you. Knowing that you don't have to take action from a place of lack. You don't have to take action from a place of scarcity, from a place of, I need to get here because I'm not good with myself right now, and I need to get there in order to feel good with myself. Or I need to get there so other people can see that I've achieved X, Y, and Z. And that validation from other people externally is what makes me feel good internally. It's not like that. The problem occurs when the goal itself becomes the be-all and end-all of your happiness. That's the whole point of this recording. When your happiness and your fulfillment and inner peace is tied to some external goal, that's when the problems happen. I'm not saying don't have goals. I'm not saying don't be ambitious. I'm not saying any of that. If you listen to my recordings, obviously you know I'm such a big proponent of, dreaming big and getting after the things that you want. I'm just saying, what's your relationship with your goals like? What's your relationship with yourself like? Before setting a big goal and taking action consistently towards that big goal, what is your relationship with yourself? Build that foundation with yourself internally first. Make sure that your inner peace and your happiness, your inner fulfillment isn't going to get all wrapped up in something externally. And I'm talking from personal experience. My self-worth and feelings of wholeness and completeness aren't tied to the views I get on these recordings. If they were, I would have stopped a long time ago. I know where I'm going. I know the vision that I have for myself. I'm taking action consistently towards this vision because that's what I feel called to do, and because I get enjoyment out of it. I love talking about this kind of stuff. I love talking about presence, being more in the moment. That's why I'm recording these videos. It's coming from a place of love. It's coming from a place of passion. And every single day I'm growing because I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone and doing this. That's it. Don't tie your self-worth, your happiness, your fulfillment, your inner peace to some external goal, because you're just going to be chasing something that's in motion. You are whole, full, and complete right now. And your awareness of that, your recognition of that, I think increases the more time you spend consciously in the now, in the present moment. Just being here fully instead of thinking about the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and some future goal. Just be present. Even if you're working towards something right now, you have a big goal, you have a big dream, how can you spend more time consciously in the now while taking steps forward towards getting to that thing? What's the best step I can take today, right now, to help me get there? And then you just take that step and then you ask yourself that question again. And then you just continue that. The more present I am in my daily life, the more whole I feel. So I hope you got some value from listening to this. Thank you for being a part of Presence of Being. If you enjoy listening to these recordings, following the podcast would mean a lot. Leaving a like, comment, subscribing on the YouTube also helps a lot. And let me know if you have any recommendations for the kind of things that you want me to talk about in these recordings. You can always DM me on Instagram at Presence of Being. And just thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And I will see you in the next recording very soon.